All right, number 10. We have a synthetic division to do. So you can ask yourself, do you still remember how to do synthetic division? Okay, so for synthetic division, what we will do is that we will just write the coefficients. Okay. All right. And then on the outside, we'll write down what x is equal to, well, x minus 4. And we kind of think about x minus 4 equal to 0. So x is equal to 4. Okay. Now, I want to use this opportunity to emphasize one fact that is not covered in this problem. And that is, it may be possible that one of the terms in the numerator or the dividend could be missing. Like, for example, it could be like 2x cubed and then just 38x plus 24. The x squared term is missing. And what happens when the x squared term is missing? You have to put in a filler term, which is the, let me use a different color. So 0x squared, if that's the case. Not in this case though, but not in this problem, but if there's a missing term, make sure you put a filler term inside. If you don't, it is going to mess up. So you have to be very careful when you are looking at your looking at the expressions. Like, do you see anything peculiar? Do you see anything that's out of order? Okay, like right now everything is good because you can see the power going from 3 to 2 to 1 to nothing. So life is good right here. So we can just go ahead and do the synthetic division. So the first thing that we do is to bring the 2 down. And then we say, all right, after we bring the 2 down, we have the 4 multiplying by the 2. So 4 times 2 is 8. Okay, and then you would add those 2 numbers together. You would add negative 19 and 8 together, which gives you negative 11. And then you would go ahead and multiply 4 and negative 11, which gives you negative 44. And that is negative 6. Yes, negative 6. And negative 6 times 4 is 24 with a negative sign. And that gives you a remainder of 0. Wow. This is wonderful because if the remainder is 0, it tells us a couple of things, actually. And I want to use this opportunity to elaborate on what the 0 remainder reveals or imply. It implies that x minus 4 is a factor of the 2x cubed minus 19x squared plus 38x plus 24. Now that goes back all the way to middle school or even elementary school, maybe. When you think about how you find out the factors of some simple numbers, like what are the factors of 6? You would say 2, you would say 3, you would say 1, you would say 6, because they can be divided by, well, 6 divided by those numbers would get you a 0 remainder. And if I ask you, is 4 a factor of 6? You would say no, because you would not have a 0 remainder. So that's how we have the power to say, oh, x minus 4, it's a factor of the polynomial. That's number 1. Now, the other thing that you should be able to find out from this simple synthetic division is that, oh, wait, hold on, is 0. It's a factor. That means x minus 4 is a root. X minus 4 is a root. That's exciting. Okay. That's exciting. And then there's another thing to find out, which is that, oh, if that is the case, if you focus on just the numerator, that polynomial, that cubic polynomial, okay, if you just focus on that part, well, So if f of x is equal to just the numerator, 2x cubed minus 19x squared plus 38x plus 24, then f of 4 is equal to 0. That means you have an x-intercept 4, 0, which is true because you know x minus 4 is a root. So if you graph it, it should cut the x-axis at 4, 0. Okay, so there are a couple of things to go over there. Well, how do you express your quotient of this division? The quotient of this division is 2x squared minus 11x minus 6. Okay, because you have 2x cubed divided by x. So of course, the quotient would have 1 less degree for the power. Okay. And something that you should also be thinking about is it possible to factor? Is it possible to factor this quadratic expression? Because later on, we will certainly do these things. And well, as we said in class, we love factored form. We love factored form. So is it possible to factor this out? We ask. And we say yes, because you have 2x times x giving you 2x squared. And then you can also have 6 times 1 giving you 6. And then you can have a minus 6 times positive 1 to get you negative 6. And you can have, if you do the FOIL, do the outside and inside, that will give you negative 11x. So be very sensitive. And I want you to know that as a pre-calculus student, you should always be sensitive to these quadratic expressions. You should also seek the possibility of factoring without being prompted. Okay, so this is how you do synthetic division. I elaborated more just to make sure that you are not only doing synthetic division, you know how synthetic division could be a tool for future topics.